Hey everybody, how's it going? Redeyedjedi here, and in today's video we are going to talk about blockchain technology and self-driving vehicles. But before I get started, can you please do me a favor and give this video a like to help show me that you support my work? That is all I ask. And maybe if you want to subscribe, that'd be awesome too. And with that said, let's get going. Okay, so right here, I have this graph up just to give you an idea of blockchain technology and how everything's going to be connected. Because the future, I see them merging to try to get everything on the blockchain. And that includes our vehicles. So in this episode, I kind of want to explain a little more the automotive side to the whole blockchain. The blockchain is basically, if you don't know, if you haven't seen my previous video on the blockchain is basically connected to a network. And everything is going to be connected. And it's called a chain because you're going to have all these different transactions connected to each other. So everything will be documented. In this aspect, we're looking at the vehicles. So here, you're going to have all these vehicles that, like right here, it says a vehicle recall optimization allows vehicle manufacturers to uniquely identify every single part, talking about your car, issue specific recalls for individual VIN numbers. You know, they will basically know where you're at, know what's going on with your car. If you look over here, like with identification and tracking, they talk about enhanced trusted relationships with manufacturers, identify spare parts in unique way, provide governance models within the blockchain network, share digital identification of these parts transparently with multiple parties. Verify the authenticity of a part during replacement. So that right there, you know, it's going to let you know if your part is authentic or not, which is cool if you're trying to buy an OEM part. I just don't know how that's going to affect the third market parties, because everyone, or not everyone, but I know a lot of people that do enjoy third market products on your car, and it could be from the smallest little thing as a light to special windshield wipers, all kinds of things, right? So everything is going to be on the blockchain. You need a part for your car, they're going to be able to find it. Also, not just, okay, so your auto insurance, it's going to be cheaper because your car is going to be maintaining a record of things you do, right? So as long as you drive good, your insurance is going to be good. And look, they talk about streamlining claims processing, payouts. Let's go to this next graph. Now look at this. This is talking about the cars communicating with each other. You know, you already got Tesla, Toyota, and other car manufacturers. GM has a few cars that are coming out where they're all going to be smart vehicles. Right now, you might be driving the cars and they're still going to be talking to each other, getting this network set up, but everything is going to be on the blockchain. So they'll know where you're at. If there's an accident, they'll know why. But there's going to be more to it. It's not going to be just based on your driving. There's also going to be driverless vehicles. And honestly, this is where they're trying to go, is driverless vehicles. Now, I am all for, you know, driverless vehicles. You know, I would be happy sitting in a car driving to work where it's driving me and I have to sit in traffic for an hour, which hopefully you wouldn't have that with automated cars. But, you know, you could take a nap and not worry about it if the car was as smart as we would hope. You know, so there's good things. But then again, I like off-roading. You know, I like going out to the desert and riding dirt bikes and motorcycles. So I don't know how this would affect those kind of activities. But that is for a different video. Right now we are talking about the actual vehicles on the road, both passenger vehicles and semi-trucks. So let's go to this article I found right here that says Uber, after years of trying, is handing off its self-driving car project. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but there are bits and pieces I do want to take from here. This article came out December 7th of 2020 in the New York Times. And basically it talks about how Uber invested $400 million into a startup called Aurora, who is taking over the whole Uber thing. And we will go over Aurora a little more, but I highlighted this because I wanted to read this. Aurora's chief executive, Chris Urmson, said Aurora's first product will not be a robot taxi that could help with Uber's ride-handling business. Instead, it will likely be a self-driving truck, which Mr. Urmson believes has a better chance of success in the near term because long-haul truck driving on highways is more predictable and does not involve passengers. So this right here is the start of something big. I'm not going to read this whole article, but I wanted you to just see the title, which is, This Year, Autonomous Trucks Will Take to the Road with No One on Board. And this one came out January 4th, 2021, which is discussing, and I'm going to go over some of these companies, but this is discussing as well of self-driving trucks. Unfortunately, I have had truck drivers in the family that have made, good money doing it, but it looks like they're trying to eliminate those jobs, trying to make it self-driving so there will be just those vehicles on the road. I don't know. That's just my theory. But let's go on to this. Aurora partners with Toyota in bid to bring autonomy to masses. The Toyota Sienna will be the first model to use Aurora's self-driving technology. And in the previous article, as you know, Uber passed off their self-driving service to Aurora. All the research, they gave them $400 million. And here is Aurora using that money, and they are partnering with Toyota. So, if you're into investing, I would say these are some names. All these names I talk about, I would keep an eye on as far as investing. But Aurora innovates. Well, let me see. Wait. Sorry. I have certain ones that I did plan on reading and certain ones that I just kind of want to show you a little. Okay. So this one had one. Okay. So we will go over this right here, where it says Aurora is one of several leading startups racing to commercialize its self-driving technology, along with Alphabet Inc.'s Google unit, which later renamed Waymo. Amazon.com Inc. owned Zoox Inc., and General Motors Company has Cruise LLC. Toyota, which has long preferred to develop new technology in-house, has been coy about its autonomous ambitions. The Japanese carmaker struck a similar agreement with Chinese driverless startup Pony AI Inc. in 2019, which it firmed up last year with a $400 million investment. So Toyota is dedicated to creating and realizing mobility for all by focusing on technology that will move people safely and responsibly, a vision Aurora shares with us. Keiji Yamamoto, operating officer of Toyota and president of Connected Company, said in a statement. So this is huge right here. And I'm going to try and cover all these companies right here that they just mentioned. So I felt like starting off by just letting you know that it's not just cars, but I'm mainly going to talk about the cars right now, but it's also for these semi-trucks. So all of our merchandise that is being brought across the borders or cross country will eventually all be self-driving vehicles. All right. So let's see, where are we? Aurora. On a mission to deliver the benefits of self-driving safely, quickly, and broadly. So this right here is just giving you an idea of the cars driving around, letting you know it's safely, quickly. You know, your kids could run across and it's not going to run them over, hopefully. It's not our first rodeo. It's not just bold bets that change the world. It's the combination of thoughtful people with deep experience and a strong plan. Our leaders have decades of experience pushing limits in engineering and robotics, building and shipping some of the world's most successful products, and collaborating with legislators and communities across the country. Now let's jump over here to their technology real quick, just to give it a look. The Aurora driver built to move people and goods. And here's a look at their driverless truck. Designed for long-term impact, what we build today has ability to radically change the world of tomorrow. Yeah, and so with Aurora, their focus seems like they're more semi-trucks. They're more of transporting goods across the country. So this is a company definitely keep an eye out for. Now, what they use with driving these trucks, because some of you might be curious on how these trucks are able to drive with all the vehicles on the road, and they use a technology called LiDAR. So LiDAR, which stands for Light Direction and Ranging, is a remote sensing method that uses light in the form of a pulsed laser to measure ranges, variable distances to the Earth. LiDAR is a method for determining ranges by targeting an object with a laser and measuring the time for the reflected light to return to the receiver. And then here's some images just to give you an idea of the LiDAR technology. But they have created a cool little box, and I think I might have it in one of these tabs. But it is the new upgraded LiDAR technology that they're using in the vehicles. So this right here is Cruise, driving cities forward. And if you click on the little play button, it just gives you a little idea of the car driving around. There's no one in the front seat, you know, and you have someone that just gets in, it drives around, look at no one in the seat, and then someone gets out and the car takes off. You know, so very interesting. It's Cruise, which is partnered with Microsoft and GM. So this right here should let you know this is a project that's not going to go away anytime soon, because they have two big powerhouses right there, Microsoft and GM. As long as you don't get the blue screen of death, your car will be great. Hopefully you understand that joke. Anyways, so fully driverless in San Francisco. A moment, 5 years, and 2 million miles in the making. Cruise zero-emission vehicles were ready to drive without anyone at the wheel on the streets of San Francisco. And before they were known as Cruise, I don't remember the name, but I remember watching videos of them connecting cameras to the car, delivering a pizza. I believe it's the same company, delivering a pizza across town, just with AI to see if it would work. You know, they had snags here and there with all technology, but hopefully they're streamlining it since they're trying to shape the future. So, shaping the future together. Cruise vehicles are purpose-built for self-driving at a dedicated GM manufacturing plant. Our cutting-edge hardware and software work seamlessly together to transform the way we all experience transportation. So Cruise is pretty cool. And it looks like, see, and there's an article here I'll go over later, which is Cruise teams up with Walmart, or Walmart teams up with Cruise to pilot all electric self-driving delivery powered by 100% renewable energy, because these are electric vehicles, so I'm assuming they'll probably even charge at Walmart. And it looks like what their goals are is to do home deliveries from Walmart using Cruise, where they just put your goods in the back of the car and the car would drive to your house and you grab what you want. So, okay. Next we are going to Waymo. Waymo is the one that we had talked about. I just want to let you know who Waymo was. So Waymo is the company that Google renamed. So this is backed by Google. Waymo is disclosing more autonomous vehicle data for research purposes. So this is their car. Let's see here. No, this is not the article. I wanted to show you this right here. This is their video. Let me close this real quick. So on their site, they give you a whole idea of how their technology works. It says, we put the Waymo driver through the world's longest and toughest ongoing driving test, through millions of miles on public roads and billions of miles in simulation. That's hundreds of years of human driving experience that benefits every vehicle in our fleet. With every mile we drive, we never stop learning. Here, let me go to the... My bad. See, I thought I was going to the main web page first before I went to their technology. So we're building the world's most experienced driver. And as you can see, the Waymo is working on both transportation for people and transportation for goods. So Waymo began as Google's self-driving car project in 2009. We're making it safe and easy to get around without the need for anyone in the driver's seat. So why this matters. Driving today is not as safe or enjoyable as it should be. 1.35 million deaths worldwide due to vehicle crashes in 2016. And then they're going to give you all these stats on why it's good to go self-driving and give it and trust the vehicles. 12 million Americans age 40 and older are blind or have low vision. So see, they're trying to, because we're slow, you have to trust the car. Like, I'm cool with the car. Like, I don't sell me on it trying to blame us as the reason. But I do like it for the fact that, say, you do go out to a bar with some friends and you're drinking. The car could drive you home. Maybe you don't want a driver's license. I have a daughter that still, she's in her 20s and doesn't have a driver's license because, I don't know, maybe she don't want one. We've tried. But, so for her, it would work, she just calls for the service. She uses Uber all the time. Waymo would be great for her too. So you could ride with ease. The Waymo driver knows the roads and shows you what it sees along the way. Want to get in touch? Support it is just a tap away. Avoid the stress of driving. So for this to work, though, I wonder where things are going, because you know, they are built to know how we drive, but at the same time, I feel like they're going to eventually want only smart vehicles on the road. You know, so got to keep an eye on that. So here, I'm going to play this video. This video here is, I think it's about like 3 minutes long, but basically it's going to, well, you know what? I tell you what, I'm going to save this video for last because I don't want to lose you. And there's one other thing I want to talk about before I go with them, because in these vehicles, I don't know, there's different looks. So all of these ones we've seen so far, they're basically cars with cameras on them, and they look kind of, you know, ridiculous in a sense. They're cool cars, but with all this technology. But I want to talk about this one other car, and then I'm going to come back here and play this video, which will give you an idea of how the car technology works. But let's jump over here to Zoox. So Zoox is different. It still has cameras on all four corners, but it's different. It's fully autonomous, all electric. Built for riders, not drivers. So, here, let me go over here to this tab. Look at the car. There's no front, there's no back. Like, you have 4 seats in there, and they face each other, so it's cool if you have like a family of 4, and it's going to take you somewhere to cruise around. Here you go. Here's a better look on the inside. You got some cup holders, and this is a different look. So this one, like, I don't know. It's cool. It's different. I think if you were going to go driverless, this is the way to do it, because this way you're more social. You know, the other way, you're stuck with just the back seat. You cannot sit in the front seat. So there's a lot of space you lose in these autonomous vehicles. You know, if you're using it for an Uber case, this one looks like it's better. Now, I don't think you'd be able to own any of these vehicles from the way it sounds. I think a lot of it is going to be services where GM and all of them will be owning their, or Google or Amazon, they all own their own fleets, and we have to rent from them, I think is how it's going to go, which kind of sucks. But if we're going to do some cool technology, let's go like this. I'm for this. You know, everything light up? Every seat in the house, best seat in the house, or every seat is the best seat in the house. Each rider gets the same comfort, space, and technology. No one has to squeeze in behind a driver. Oh, look at that. And they have this thing, you just set your phone on there and it will do the wireless charging. So that's pretty cool. You know, so I don't know what your thoughts are on self-driving vehicles. But this one's cool. Out of all the ones I've looked at so far, this is the one that I like the most. Just because this has, I think, a better use case than, say, I mean, now the Waymo is different because Waymo, they have the trucks, the SUVs, so that's one thing. Like, they have trucks that do the hauling across, and all these companies are going to, I'm sure, invest in both technologies, hauling across country and hauling people around town. So, I don't know, but I like this design the most. All right, so I didn't want to make this video too long. That's why I kind of jumped through some of this. I will put the links to the car sites below. This way you could come check out all the different ones and, you know, learn about the vehicles and how they work. You know, just these are things to come. You know, might not be here today or tomorrow, but, you know, a lot of the things when they talk about blockchain technology is having everything implemented by, what, like 2023 to 2025, somewhere around there. So, I mean, you're looking at 2 to 4 years. Like, things are going to be changing quick. So, this is why I'm trying to make these videos now, to give you an idea of what's to come. All right, let's jump over to the Waymo video. Let me scroll down to the experience. The Waymo 360 experience.
Get you where you need to go.
Oh, let me start over.
Back in 2009, in our early days at Google, we started working on self-driving cars. Today, we're called Waymo, and our fully self-driving cars are on the road. They use a range of technology we've built from the ground up to understand the world around them and get you where you need to go. You're about to see how it all works and what it feels like to ride in our car. As it drives, Waymo uses LiDAR, which sends out millions of laser beams per second to build up a detailed picture of the world all 360 degrees around it. It also uses radar to detect how far away objects are and their speed. And high-resolution cameras detect visual information, like whether a traffic signal is red or green. It then combines all that data to understand the world around it. For example, in this fraction of a second, it knows exactly where it is on the road. It can also identify everything around it.
Because it'll all be connected to the blockchain, so it'll know where all the vehicles are.
And then predict what those things might do next. And it doesn't just do that for the objects you and I can see. It can do that for things up to 3 football fields away. What makes everything you can see right now possible is experience. Waymo has already self-driven millions of miles on complicated city streets, and it's constantly learning from every single mile it drives. With all that knowledge, it can plan a safe path ahead. In this instance, giving that cyclist enough room to cycle past us, and also looking out for that pedestrian on the sidewalk.
This is what always worries me.
And when it comes to making decisions, this is a good example of how Waymo doesn't just take into account your safety. It also makes sure that both you and the people around you feel secure and at ease. So now that you know how Waymo works, it's time to take your first ride in one of our cars. Take a look around. You're now riding in a fully self-driving car.
Well, this is the problem.
Some things might immediately stand out.
Missing a lot of space.
The fact that there's no one in the driver's seat.
Yeah, no one in the front.
The wheel,
that's wasted space.
And the screens, which show you what the car is seeing and the route it's taking. But you might also notice that the ride feels a lot like being driven in a regular car. And that's the way it should feel. All this technology, which allows Waymo to see, identify, predict, and plan, should make an extraordinary ride feel completely ordinary and create a very normal journey that simply gets you from A to B, safe and sound. And while it does all that, all you have to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride.
All right, so there's that. Stop that there. Close. All right, yeah. So that just gave you a quick little idea. It wasn't that bad of a video. But yeah, so that gives you an idea. I still think this is the better look right here. I like that one. You know, the whole driverless vehicles, you know, it's cool, but then it can be sketchy at the same time. Like, do you really trust the computer? Do you really trust the AI? So, but at the same time, I mean, it's going to get smarter and smarter, and then they're going to put more and more out in the road, and they're going to be able to talk to each other, and eventually they'll have either their own lanes, or they'll start making it harder to drive our vehicles in certain areas. Don't know. Soon I want to do a video on smart cities. There are smart cities out there that have been built. I don't know if people live in them yet, because I know there are test cities out there that were they're putting things together with technology to see how well it would work. So I've been trying to find all the info on that and get everything together. But this is to kind of show you with the blockchain and driverless vehicles where we're going. They want to take over. Look, if they don't have to pay truck drivers, they don't have to pay those medical bills. They don't have to pay for those wages. There's a lot of money that they don't have to pay. So they end up saving money, not paying those people to drive. So there's a lot of jobs that are going to be taken because of automation, but it's also opening new doors for new jobs for other types of areas. Just you got to make sure you're savvy enough to catch on and get on board. So, all right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. Yeah, it was. Sorry, I was too busy checking out this car. I really like that. All right. Well, anyways, this is Redeyedjedi. Please like, share, subscribe, and check out these cool cars. Let me know what you think. Are you okay with the way all the technology is going, or do you wish we could just stop it and go back to the 90s? All right, everyone. Have a good day. Bye.